There we are. Hello my friends and welcome for this new live session. Very chill painting session is going to be this painting again, which I haven't had time to work on for a week. So last time you saw me paint this was the last time I actually touched it in real life, because I've been working on other projects, specifically my drawing course, lots of things. And I didn't have time to work on this one. Considering the size, it's, well, I'm already sure this one is going to take me ages, especially since I always try to polish things way too much, maybe, or maybe not. And I wanted to make this actually the question of this session: is perfectionism a curse or a blessing for artists? I'm going to discuss these points. We're going to try to have some sort of a debate. I want to have your opinion on this topic, and I'm just going to pick up a brush and just start telling you what I think about this, what I think are the benefits of perfectionism, how it can push your art to the actual next level, for sure, that a perfectionist wouldn't be able to reach, but also how past a certain point it can also control you. You don't control your perfectionism. At some point it can become something that hinders your art and your artistic expression. So we're going to discuss this. It's an open debate, so feel free to send me your ideas and stuff, and I'm going to zoom in and we're going to start right away, and I'm going to continue this one. And yeah, how is everyone doing? Let me just adjust this. Okay. So yeah, let's give this. Oh, thank you, the real Casadro. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the generosity. Hello, Karen. Hello, Faith. This is the way. Thank you again. All about the process. So perfectionism is all about the process, but well, in what regards? What do you mean? All right. Okay, so let's just jump. Let me just take my little screen on this side, readjusting so that I can see everything easily. I don't have to switch back and forth all the time. Hello, Cats Gallery. Great to see you too. Okay, just quick tour of the palette, maybe. Okay, let's just have this. All right, so just a quick tour: titanium white, yellow ochre, transparent iron oxide, Pyrrole red, quinacridone rose. This was burnt umber, I've used it all. This was ultramarine blue, I've used almost all of it. And this is cobalt teal. Very quick, before we start this, let me have a quick poll. And I'm gonna ask about the music. Let me know what you want about the music. Yes, no. And I'll follow your instructions. Hello, Adnan. Hello, Shuvradip. I'm your biggest fan. Thank you. I'm your biggest fan. The perfect way to spend my time before my live drawing class. Love your stream. Hey, enjoy your live drawing class and enjoy the stream. Jellycat enthusiast. What's a jellycat? Sounds awesome. I don't know what it is, but I want one. This maybe should be the debate. Do you want a jelly cat? Yes or no? Easy answer. Oh yeah, I'm asking about the music, the background music, because make sure you check the poll, because I'm not gonna listen to the same music as you. I'm gonna listen to my own music, but for copyright reasons, I'm not allowed to stream it. However, if you're interested, I can at some point share a link if you want to, just for curiosity's sake, know what kind of music I listen to usually when I paint. It's not for everyone. I'm telling you this. Alright, so, yep, everything ready on my side. Okay, so yeah, perfectionism. What do you guys think about perfectionism? That's the subject of this stream. I like to start the streams with kind of a discussion, even though we're not following the discussion all the way through, but it's always nice to have like share ideas and stuff. Like, would you consider, first of all, would you consider yourselves perfectionists or not? What do you see yourself as? I'm interested in that, because I would say personally that I'm definitely a perfectionist, way too much of a perfectionist maybe. And I don't know. And I know that it has helped me, especially as a self-taught artist, mostly self-taught. But it's also one of the reasons why I'm so slow to paint. So it's, in a way, it's keeping my art behind. Not forever, because after some point the paintings are coming out of the studio. Like, I managed to finish things here and there sometimes, you know. It's not always a lost cause, but I know that I do way less in terms of sheer quantity than what I would do if I was less of a perfectionist. However, obviously, would my art be the same if I wasn't as much as a perfectionist? In a way, no. And like, in a way, I'm just trying to think this through, and I'm thinking that all artists in some regards are perfectionists. Like, I don't see how you can be an artist without some type of perfectionism, even if you're not perfectionist in all the way through. Like, the piece has to look exactly a certain way, otherwise you wouldn't even start to attempt to make it, right? And that's what differentiates the artistic vision from the non-artistic vision. So in a way, perfectionism is kind of the second name of art. But also, you've heard the stories about like people who've learned how to release themselves from this, you know, this type of pressure that perfectionism puts on your shoulder, that you put yourself on your shoulders, which is kind of nuts. And once they got rid of this, you know, this burden, they became much more relaxed, and their art was significantly improved all of a sudden. So I don't know, I'm puzzled. What do you think? Okay. Thank you. I'm doing the portrait from your course right now, and sorry, I don't have the text, and made it look so easy. No, it's not easy. It's because you don't see, when I do the course, I can't incorporate all the years of work there are behind, but you have like some way more ugly phases, like at every point in the process. Like this, I would consider this face at the moment quite ugly, because it was a reworking. So the jawline, everything is kind of messed up at the moment. I like this one, I hate it at the moment. So it's not easy for me to just work on it, but I'm trying to work on this aspect, and I just chill, because I know that I'm gonna push it. I know how my perfectionism is going to force me to make it look better, so I'm relaxed in this regard. But yeah, you know, that's how I'm trying to cure my own like perfectionism in a way. Okay, Christian, oh, thank you, Christian. I enjoy your narration. Art is so much of a head game. Thank you. Felicia, I need to get much better to even flirt with perfectionism. Hey, coucou Guy. Okay, so we're going to end the poll, and we are keeping the music in the background. Thanks for the votes. I like the settings of this music, the type of music. I think it's not too disturbing, not too distracting, but it gives like a nice chill atmosphere. I like it personally. And sometimes I just listen to it. Like right now I'm listening to my playlists, but like most of the time, because I can get separate sounds, basically. I can stream a sound and not listen necessarily to the same things. Hello Eric, I'm glad you love the life. Hey Jack, how are you doing? How is everyone doing, by the way? What are the plans for today? For what? This evening? Here it's the night, like beginning of the night. But I don't know where you are. Tell me if you have a big day ahead of you, or if it's the time to go to bed. I know that sometimes we have some night owls from down under, from Australia. I don't think we do today, do we? But what time is it where you are? I'm doing fine, Jack. Pretty chill at the moment. I'm enjoying painting. I picked up painting just for this evening, because I've been drawing all day, making a drawing in preparation for my my drawing course. So right now it's a nice change of pace to be painting. I don't know, it feels much more natural for me, actually. Even the drawing for a lot of people would seem to be easier, but I don't consider drawing to be easier. I don't know. Like, painting feels just more natural. And it's nice to be back on this painting. I'm super happy to be back here, because as I said, I haven't touched this painting since last week during the stream actually. So I'm super pumped to be back at it again. You know, sometimes you have other projects and like a work that you really like and you have to put it on the side. And it's great to be back on this one. Getting ready to draw and paint, working on a small figurative series to build my skills. Well, that's good, Carrie wannabe. I used to draw all the time, now I'm too impatient. Yeah, I agree, Jack. It's like drawing takes patience, just because the build-up of the matter, like just filling up the space takes way too long. Like once you get into painting, you realize how slow drawing is, which is also why we recommend that beginners start with drawing, is because it's just a slow pace. It's a slow pace medium, so much better because you have the time to learn, whereas painting, it goes fast. Faster, at least. Who am I to say that painting goes fast? The stupid stuff that I say, yeah. But for some, you know, painting does go fast. At least, like, you can take think about it. You take a big brush and you can fill an entire area with just one stroke. Whereas with a pencil, you'll have to scratch everything, like, and it just takes a lot of time. However, for building up the skills, it's a much better medium because you just need to take the time when you're learning. So I like this balance, this sort of time dilation that's operating between the mediums. It's allowing you to do things that, like, a drawing would allow you to do things that a painting wouldn't be capable of doing, and the painting is also like a step ahead if you have something very ambitious, very big. But you do have some amazing drawing artists, like pencil charcoal artists like Jono Drive, for example. You look at his work and, like, it's crazy how much time it takes, but he manages. I don't know how he does, but he's amazing. I've always admired the patience, the skills and the patience, because I know what it represents. The patience of Jono, wonderful artist. I'm sure you know about him. Adnan, I actually think that perfectionism is a blessing and it influences your art in a positive way. Seems like you also found a way to accept it and use it. Yeah, well, in a way you don't have a choice, actually. So answering the question is just interesting for, like, the debate, the discussion, but you don't control, you don't get a say in your perfectionism. Well, maybe you can help it, like, you can learn how to just tame it, but in a way it's just part of who you are. Like, you know, just regardless of art, some people are perfectionists in real life and some people just don't care that much. They care about other things. but not necessarily about all the tiny details. Like, for example, rounding this. Yeah, seems like nothing, but I don't know, like for me, I wouldn't consider the entire project finished if this tiny stroke wasn't there. So I have to make it at some point, have to make it happen. Hey Maxwell, thank you. I'm also working on large figurative painting while listening to you. It's great to paint alongside a pro. Well, thank you. I'm honored that you're here, that you're joining. Hey Rhea, oh my OMG, I can't believe I made it. I made another live. Well, believe it, because it's happening and it's going to happen much more often than before with my new schedule. And I you know guys, I also thought about making impromptu streams, but I was thinking, well, my time zone don't match, because sometimes I'm just in the middle of the day, like, because here it's the beginning of the night, but and I've calculated like it's kind of the most convenient to get most time zones kind of. But I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna make more lives like at some random points. I'm still gonna keep these hours most likely, but I'm also going to add like completely impromptu pop-up streams at some point, like at any random time, just when I feel like it. Because, you know, I find that you guys give me motivation. I work even slower during a live, but I'm also making usually like at least a 2-hour session, like complete session, like uninterrupted. So I'm gonna pick up the brush and paint for like, I'm gonna paint very slowly, but for like 2 hours straight. And that's something that I don't always do. Like when you're just alone, you take breaks, you know, randomly, when you just feel like taking a break. But somehow it's less intense this way. And I don't necessarily accomplish much more. So sometimes like it's like a nice boost of motivation to have you guys. I really appreciate the experience, and I think I can use it to improve my productivity, even tame my perfectionism and be even more productive. So I think I'm gonna make more of these, and more than the scheduled session, I mean. Hey Devandi, welcome to the streams. Felicia, time is perfect here. It's 2:30 and the hottest part of the day, 95 degrees. I have no idea what you mean, but I'm gonna guess that it's hot. 95 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what it means. Like Fahrenheit is like a big mystery for me. I never even tried to. So all the time I use I use Google to calculate to convert it for me. I've never. But I'm gonna guess that it's hot. It's been very hot also here. Like hotter than it's supposed to at this time of the year. We didn't have, like, right here where I live in France, we didn't have the hottest summer of like just my area, because France has had like a pretty hot summer of all. I think that the fourth hotter since recorded times. but just where I live was very rainy and we didn't have that much heat. Actually, the problem was more the water, like too much water. I had roofing issues and stuff due to rainfall. But I know that other places were not so lucky and they had like some droughts, heat waves and stuff, like, you know, the usual stuff. Better get used to it, unfortunately. Get used to it and do something about it. Do what we can. Thank you, Martik. Bonsoir, Jasmine. 35. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we had something like 33 right here. So it's not pretty close. But we're pretty lucky because here when it's very hot, it's not super humid. So it's not unbearable. It's very hot, not, you know. .43 in Arizona. Wow. But, well, Arizona is a desert, right? Isn't it? Like, it's like, why did people like put cities there? It's the question. I mean, I'm puzzled by this state. Because my geography may be messed up. I don't know. What isn't Arizona and like kind of Nevada, isn't that just a huge kind of desert, like super dry? It's crazy how hot this can get there. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not sure about the geography, but it's like you have some super, super hot areas there. It's insane. So the entire state is a desert? Don't you have like is there a river or something? I don't know. My geography is completely off on this area, but my point of, I'm sorry, but my only point of reference for this type of US deserts is like Breaking Bad, like, you know, New Mexico, I guess, Albuquerque and stuff, like the deserts that they have there. Is this the kind of same thing, would you say? Grand Canyon is in Arizona? Is it? Like, double check because I'm not sure. Don't want to say something incorrect. Northern Arizona is beautiful. Well, I guess it's always like the pictures that you see from there is amazing. Like, where did this Georgia O'Keeffe artist used to live? Is it Arizona? Okay, so kind of the same type of desert. Wow. It's crazy. Just realized that I didn't oil out and it's probably going to play tricks on me. I'm gonna do something you're not supposed to do, guys. I'm gonna oil out after I started painting, but obviously I'm not going to retouch the areas that I've painted already. I'm gonna try to use this little sponge. I want to just oil out the hair, but I've kind of painted all the way here, so I'm gonna try to just avoid it. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to oil out before, but like oiling out with little sponges like that. It's pretty convenient. And it's not dirty. It doesn't leave lint or residue. Oh, New Mexico. Okay. The museum is in Santa Fe. Learning so much about geography today. Okay, so we had some new opinions on perfectionism. We lost track. Perfectionism boosts me, but on the other side, I like imperfection because often mistakes help me to be more performant and creative. Thanks for sharing. I really like how you see mistakes as part of the creative process. It's a super important element of creation, like understanding mistakes. Not only mistakes happen, but they are also a valuable part of the experience, and you don't want to dismiss the mistakes as just unimportant elements, because the mistakes are the most important part of the process. They show you the way forward, basically. So, like your philosophy here. Martik, it may be frustrating, but a perfectionist will not be happy until it's perfect. Imagine the satisfaction when it's done. I prefer perfectionism after all. Well, you're an artist. That's just how you think. I feel the same, exactly. I think that's what defines being an artist. In my opinion, in a way, you can't be an artist without being a perfectionist in some regards. Not necessarily all the way through, even though most artists are huge perfectionists, but I mean, I think it would be very rare to see an artist that's not perfectionist. Maybe in, just conceptual art and stuff like that, but it's like, it's not the same. It's not even the same job. So it looks like you're working on your first layer. No, it's actually the second one. This one was, this is dry. Just polishing because this was dry, but this was already a retake of the first one because I changed the angle of the face. But this was the first layer, hence, like you can see the ear, I didn't have time to finish the ear. So, finishing the question, will you complete a full painting on this layer or go back and refine with glazes? I find that limiting layers help me stay out of perfectionism. Yeah, I'm gonna go back with full color layers until it looks just how I want, and I'm trying to limit my layers to 3 whenever I can. It's kind of my rule of thumb. Sometimes it's more and sometimes it's less. I always aim to finish in one go whenever I can. If I can, well, then it's just perfect as it is. Most of the time I can't, like let's say right there, it's just I need to finish the ear, but you wouldn't consider this a second layer, it's just the continuation. I don't know, but usually it depends also on what area I'm making. Like, obviously the faces I give more care to the faces, but for the arm, probably I'm not gonna do much more than one layer. For the hands, I'm gonna do generally 2, 3 if it's a tricky position, because hands are actually quite tricky, maybe more tricky than faces in some regards. In some areas I'm gonna leave with just one, depends. Do you oil out in between layers every time? No, only when it's getting dull, and here it was very dull. I don't know if you notice, if you rewind, you'll see how dull it was before the oil out. Hello Black Dahlia, good to see you. Thank you, Jacques. Show Florence some love and leave a like on this video. Yeah, thank you. To my mind, perfection does not exist. I do not seek perfection, rather I seek to continually improve. This is not to say I don't get into perfect detail or line, etc. Continual improvement is a way, yeah. You have to track your progression, but yeah, it's a way to use kind of the mindset of the perfectionists without falling into the trap of excess perfectionism. So I really like this philosophy, treating like gradual improvement as a way to move forward. And so I really like this philosophy. It's very, very very smart way to tackle the problem, get the best aspect of the desire to make things look as beautiful as you can without punishing yourself for not making it perfect all the time. How do you separate perfectionism from hyperrealism? And I don't want to go that far. Well, I would say that hyperrealism is a style, is an aesthetic, where you want to capture an object with super, like, full of details and stuff. Perfectionism is just, maybe you don't want the details. It's not necessarily about the details, it's just maybe you're a perfectionist, but you want some type of sergeant-like portrait, and you will retry and throw away the canvas until you get it. That's also perfectionism. It's not hyperrealism in this case. So you don't have to be a hyperrealism, but hyperrealism is definitely the aesthetic of the perfectionists who don't know what to do with their perfectionism. In my way, in my opinion, hyperrealism is just like, to me, I see it as a huge waste of time, because artistically speaking, I don't feel any connection, so I wouldn't go this way either. Okay, wow, I've got tons of messages. One side can say perfectionism will stall an inexperienced artist, however experienced knowledge and mastery of technique can reign in perfectionism. Use it in your favor. That's well said. Well said. But it can also stall experienced artists, though. That's also a thing. This is so gorgeous. Thank you for sharing your work with us. Thank you, Sharjil. Sorry if I mispronounced. Very nice job. Skin is the hardest to paint and keep it light. Yeah, especially because this one has some type of reddish glow coming from this direction. So right now the colors look weird, but it's normal. Karen, I used to be a perfectionist. Oh, I so get it, because I'm a dad and I know that. I used to be a perfectionist, but then I had children and that went out the window. Best comment of the evening for me. That's the parent connection there. I agree with the hands, so tricky. What colors were your first layers? Pretty much the same as I said, so white, yellow, yellow ochre, transparent red oxide, pyrrole, quinacridone, burnt umber, ultramarine, like the same type, and cobalt steel here. Same type of colors. You're welcome, Nilda. Jasmine, I'm a beginner and also want to push... I can't never see. And also want to push me to become as perfect as possible, but the very first time of practicing I was always in the extreme of discourage and overworking. Well, it gets better with time, doesn't it? Hey, how are you? I'm doing fine. Painting is going well, thank you. Hello from Arizona again. Well, people from Arizona are flocking this chat. What is it? What do I have in Arizona that that attracts people to this session? I guess this is a sign I have to visit Arizona at some point, or like it should be a sign right there, because we just had a discussion about Arizona, and I wanted to know how it was, how hot it is, you know, stuff like this. And Barbara, you're in Vegas, Nevada, thanks, next to Arizona. So, like, there's something with hot weather and enjoying live painting on YouTube. There's some type of connection. Texas here also very hot. Well, stop it. Stop it. Nobody's like living in somewhere cold. Like, what is this? The hotter the weather, the more people enjoy painting. Is this something? Is there something I should be aware of here? Thank you, Eric. I'm glad my color theory is helpful, and drawing tips as well. I don't do enough drawing tips. I'm gonna do more in the future. I've realized how ultra focused my channel has been on painting recently. The Southwest loved me. Well, I love the Southwest as well. Never been there. The only time I went to the US was in Washington, DC and New York. But I've never visited, and Madison, Wisconsin as well. Don't ask me why. My father used to work there in the university, and I visited when I was a teenager. It's a cool city. I don't have a lot of people from Wisconsin though. Hey Brendan! We have an internet celebrity with us. Thank you for making me the honor to join. I think maybe something is a curse until you understand how to control or utilize it effectively rather than it controlling you. Just an idea, sure. Are you a perfectionist? Do you consider yourself to be one? And do you agree with my theory that in a way all artists kind of are perfectionists, even though they can sort of try to control it and not let it control them, but thank you. Unfortunately, time will come when cold weather will be a souvenir for most of us. Yeah, it's the sad reality of our world. Hey, Madison, you're in Wisconsin as well, Jacques. Awesome, see? Hello from Switzerland. Someone closer to home. Welcome to the stream, Nora. Wish I could live in Norway. It's an amazing country. Like the landscapes there is just like, wow, if you're a landscape painter there, oh my god, like it's the coasts and even like the country. It's like amazing landscapes. Okay. Sometimes definitely a perfectionist, difficult to manage at times. We are all with you, you know? Like, I guess nobody says, during this stream I've polled and I asked everyone here, nobody said, no, I don't care how it looks, meh. It's not something that that a painter is or an artist is ever going to say. You're going to say, nah, I don't care. Looks terrible? Well, good enough. Or like I said, maybe, you know, conceptual art, something like that. But even there, the conceptual artists, they're pretty picky. Like the guy taping a banana to the wall is still pretty much of a perfectionist, saying, well, the banana has to be taped this way and not this way, and because apparently it matters. like for us, it doesn't like make much of a difference. We don't necessarily feel any type of connection to this type of art, but like, guess what? The guy doing this is also pretty much a perfectionist for that. So I guess it's just I guess it's both a curse. It's like both. It's both a curse and a blessing. It's not something that you can choose, first of all. Like, you don't decide that you are going to stop being a perfectionist. Julie, hello from Norway. How is Norway doing? I've participated in a group exhibition in Switzerland. Are you anywhere near Gruyère? No, it's kind of a long drive from home, but I used to live closer to there. Congrats on the exhibition though. Hope it went well. Live in the mountainside in a small town in Norway, and now the autumn is starting. The landscape is beautiful. Wow. Make me jealous. Yeah, Norway is sounds like an amazing country. Never been there. My knowledge of Norway is unfortunately pretty limited. It's like Magnus Carlsen, Erling Haaland, and just the fjords and the landscapes. But I wish I knew more. I used to do some couch surfing, and we had some people from Norway. Very interesting people, super nice. It was a great moment. I miss couch surfing, the couch surfing era. This is a long time ago. I don't know if it's still a thing. That was with Airbnb and stuff, but it was great. When I was a student. Well, that's the spirit, Felicia. When I paint on paper, any tendency towards perfection goes out the window, and sometimes the painting are better than my canvas painting. Is weird. It's actually a good point. Sometimes like little studies done with, you know, unexpected techniques, or like techniques that you don't necessarily put too much effort into, that you just do for fun, they reveal what you would do without the burden of perfectionism, and comes up as more interesting than something you would struggle to do but not really master in the end. Greetings from Germany, Alistair. Welcome to the stream. Norway's doing fine. There was a big flood some weeks ago, but it's gone now. Hello, Kyle. Hello, Captain Nemo. I've been watching your videos for a few years and I've seen the changes in your work over time. Could you talk a little about any overarching concepts or themes that have developed in your work? Sure. This is not necessarily an overarching concept, but I'm interested in imaginative realism, so making pictures that look realistic but are still scenes from the imagination. And what I like is to make paintings that relate to basically the themes that I was interested in during my time as a student, because as a student I wasn't in art school. I was studying philosophy, and I was very interested in the themes of existentialist philosophy. So all the themes of existence, death, love, altruism, the relation to the other, stuff like that, always been fascinating to me. Notions of, like mostly philosophical notions, but I like to sort of imagine how they could live, how these concepts could live in a visual environment, like in some type of a story, but I don't make up the story. I just come up with the image, and it's up to the people to come up with the story for themselves if they want to. So more or less, it's the lamest explanation, but come on, it's late here. Okay, so Kyle, I do the same with pen and ink. When something isn't archival, my marks naturally become a bit more loose. That's a good way to avoid the trap of perfectionism. I like your philosophy. I've been a perfectionist for 62 years and in all areas of my life, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a game I can't win, so I'll never get bored. It's a good way to see it. And I agree, it's worthless to try to fight it. Definitely agree with you. Most artists will have perfectionist tendencies. All depends on the artist's expectations for their creations, I think. Cool to see you're into stoicism too. Yeah. I don't know what a stoic would think about perfectionism, by the way. Because it's something you can control, like your art, but isn't perfectionism also controlling you in a way? So is it a passion or an action? Are you active or passive when you constantly come back to the same painting to try to make it better? Is it something that you do with full control, or is it something that's kind of devouring you? It's just not easy to answer that, because it can do both. As I said, it depends how you approach it. Well, congrats, Barbara. Really, you deserve it. Congratulations. It's a great accomplishment. Very cool. Going from philosophy to art seems like a big leap for most, but seeing your work, it makes perfect sense. Well, I don't know. I try to make images of, like, you know, when I was reading all the philosophy, I just always found it like that there was like some powerful meaning missing from, oh sorry, I messed up here. There was always some powerful meaning missing from all the, like the writing that, like, you know, a painter, for example, like Caravaggio would have, because I was always fascinated by Caravaggio, and Caravaggio could have like a super intense image that was worth more than like thousands of words, because it was super powerful, but it didn't have to, it wasn't meaning, not the same type of meaning, basically. And I always felt that, yeah, I always felt, how would this concept, how would this look when I was studying existentialist philosophy? It was always like a lot of, well, let's face it, a lot of boring works. I've always been interested in saying things without saying them, like, you know, show don't tell kind of philosophy. It's not philosophy. I'm not pretending that I'm making philosophy and art. It's just I work on the same themes, like there are some connections. I'm not saying that I'm making existentialist paintings or whatever. I'm just saying that the themes I'm drawn towards are related to that, and it's all about, mostly about the human existence. There's always a human being in my paintings, so I would love to paint just animals and stuff, but, you know, if there's, or just a landscape without anyone. But if there's no human in the frame, I don't feel the same type of connection. I'm enjoying the process much more nowadays, and every time I click it, okay, enjoying the process much more nowadays and letting the art do what it wants to do more than obsessing over my work. That's the spirit. That's great if you can do that. I can never do that. Yeah, Brendan, you seem like such the chillest guy. Like stoicism is definitely the right fit for you. You always seem so calm and like in control. Always so chill to watch your content, man. If you don't know, guys, I don't know, like, chat, if you don't know about this guy, Schaefer Art, you should check him out. Wonderful artist, great videos on YouTube. Overall, you won't be disappointed, and great guy. So, but I'm sure you're not discovering Brendan, but check him out. Just in case, just saying. Just saying it's worth your time. Amor fati memento mori. Are you more satisfied with her bun, Flo? It's not the same girl, but she's also going to have like some type of bun probably. Yeah. No, I haven't retouched it. I want to just make sure, because I still have a lot of work on the lips. Right here it's just one big blob. So this has to change, but I'm gonna finish the face first, and I don't think I'll have time to touch the hair today. Because, you know, too much of a perfectionist to rush into things, so it's probably going to take me ages, like it always does. Sabrina, philosophie et peinture. Merci Florent pour ces moments de partage. Dommage que ce soit pas en français. Oui, désolé Sabrina, je sais. Tu peux me parler en français, pas de souci. Perfectionism is the reason for my weekly therapy. For months I couldn't even show my paintings on social media. I'm Brazilian, self-taught, and your channel saves me a lot. Thanks. Well, you have to show your work when you feel ready, but don't start with the idea that people are going to hate it, because that's just your brain messing with you. So just give it a try, and if you're still learning, just let people know. Just use social media as a way to just share your progression, and don't say, well, this is amazing, I'm such an amazing painter, look at my work. Like sort of bragging about it, but sort of be humble. Say, okay, first time that I'm trying this new technique, what do you think? And if you're not braggy, most people are going to be very nice and encouraging. And maybe you're going to be the one inspiring others. So that's the great thing. Yeah, see you, Brendan. Thank you. Make me want to oil paint again. Gotta go now. Take care. Yeah, it's alright, Barbara, because there are 3 of those. It's like the Danaids. Sorry, I don't know why this word is so hard for me to say. So that it's like sisters, basically. And they're supposed to kind of look the same, like Waterhouse inspired, you know, Waterhouse inspired models, basically. You're supposed to look alike, but not too much. I didn't want to make it too obvious. What about still life painting, for example, showing the objects of a person's life, telling the story of that individual? Would that interest you, or is it portrait that tell the story for you? Most of the time, the drama comes from the person, like kind of an actor. It's like, I see my paintings more like, how to say, more like theater than just exposition of an image. Basically, it's like something is happening and I like the drama, and it's hard to have drama without characters, but I do also have like a line of work that goes in this direction that you're suggesting, with just objects, but they are mostly objects that are surrounding my other paintings. So like on their own, by themselves, I'm not super attracted to just objects, like alone. Or I need to push some mystery behind it. I don't know. But it interests me, but like most of the meat for me is in the human interaction. It's just imagine a movie without actors. It's like, yeah, for me it doesn't work. It's kind of the same for my paintings, basically. Well, there are three of them, right? Like, there are three of them visible, like in the main stage, and more in the background. Okay, not to be rude, but I'm gonna just connect with my painting just a little bit for the moment and focus, so I'll be a little bit less talkative just for a couple of minutes, but I'm still reading and feel free to chat. It's just I'm gonna be a little bit less responsive just for the time being. Because this mouth is really something that I want to fix. I want to make it much softer, more elegant. Hey Sydney, love your profile picture. Feels like having PewDiePie. Hey Florent, love your content. On average, what's the proportion of time you're using bigger brushes for blocking in and laying the foundations to using smaller brushes for details? Well, it's just depends on how much time you spend on each area, but it really depends on the area. Like, for example, it took me a day to do the entire background here, so just big brushes, and then just all the drawing, the under drawing is done with rather big brushes as well. And then just when I finish, I would say it's almost 50-50, but sometimes, like, you know, polishing things up takes much more time. Depends on how well you can do with the big brush. And sometimes you also figure things out along the way, so you have to change. And I think I end up using more small brushes than big ones. Like, right now, these are all my brushes. I didn't even bother to take up the big ones. I mostly have some small rounds for the most part. So yeah, I do have my big brushes next to me. It's just I didn't take them out because I know that for this area that I wanted to retouch today, it's not part of the plan to come up with a big spalter. So really depends. Just go with the feeling. Just look at the area that you want to work on and think about what goes in this. I want to retouch just this small tiny bit around the eye. Can I use this one? No. So simple as that. And yeah, small synthetic rounds for the face like that work really well. Is that clock ticking? Yeah, I do have a clock ticking here in my studio. Maybe you can hear it, I don't know. Sometimes like mics pick up weird noises, but it can also be like the music, I don't know. Personally, I have never liked any reference to man in landscape paintings. Even my own works from reference where man is present, I develop those traces. You know, I kind of like when I do like landscapes, it's because of the, I don't know, the absence, the presence absence of man. Like, I like paintings that are mysterious because there is no man, but there kind of should be, you know? Like a huge city, but there is no one. It's all empty and you have like, I don't know, I do like traces of man. Like, yeah, like I said, it's my main point of focus. Yeah, post-apocalyptic or just weirdly mysterious. Like you have, you know, I like the idea of a painting with a nice a nice summertime coffee shop, and cups of coffee are full, and you have like, you know, tons of things, but no one is present. I kind of like the idea. Or just, you know, a street and you have like everything is left and humans are not there. I like this concept. So I find it interesting, and I'm pretty sure it's been done, but like how you can make humans shine by their absence, basically. Like this idea. The air of mystery, yeah, I like this. But I also enjoy I do enjoy nice landscapes without anyone, like just nature, just the wildness. I do also like this. It's just I'm not drawn to it myself creatively. It's not the same, the type of things that I'm gonna do on a daily basis, but I'm appreciative for other artists who can do it well, because this is definitely the kind of thing that I'm not necessarily attracted towards. Creatively, but I appreciate it aesthetically, let's say. No, I guess it's normal, Sydney. Depending on what kind of finish you desire, though, it's all about that. Do you enjoy any kind of impressionist painting like Cézanne or Monet? Monet very much, Cézanne not at all. Not, well, I shouldn't say that, but not much. I don't like how he sort of flattens the colors and stuff. But Monet, very much. I'm a huge fan of Monet. But I'm pretty picky in the Impressionists family, let's say. If you count Degas as the Impressionist, that's my favorite one. If you count him as an Impressionist, though. But for example, Renoir is really an artist that I don't like. I just hate. I can't see a Renoir. Like, even if you offer me an actual Renoir, I don't know if I accept it. Just because, yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, same thing as you, Monet, Degas, and Cassatt, Mary Cassatt. I don't know how you pronounce it. Never knew. Unless this wasn't just a pointy ear, it's the hair pulled back. The ear is supposed to be here. No, it's not an elf. But I'm gonna keep the pointy sort of, oops. I'm gonna keep the pointy feel. Basically, it's just the hair is pulled there and there. Oh, you make me laugh. Yeah, I could have painted an elf, but fantasy is a cool aesthetic. I like the aesthetic. The problem is, as a figurative artist, if you start painting fantasy or sci-fi, there's a good chance that it's going to work and be a successful painting, but people are going to start to categorize you as the sci-fi guy, the dragon painting guy, the whatever guy. And if it's what you want, fine. The problem is people can easily fit you in a box. Like you put one painting of an elf on Instagram and people are going to categorize you as a fantasy artist, which is not a shame to have this label. It's just if you're not intending on pursuing that long term, it's most likely what's going to stick because it's kind of the more popular choice, basically. But now I'm going to paint a boring human ear. Sorry. Well, Toulouse-Lautrec is cool as well. I don't know. I don't find any huge connection. Would you say color or form is more important in an impressionist? I would say color. I would say light, basically. So values more than cue, but also a huge like importance of basically you don't make the shadows brown. So color. How would one beat the system of category traps? You don't. It's like you do you, and people, like, it helps people to put a category on like your work. Sometimes just people, if people ask you what you do, what kind of art you do, they usually expect some type of a category that would describe it, even though you as the artist, you would hate to sort of categorize your work, but sometimes it can save you a lot of saliva explaining what you do. You can say, well, it's kind of like surrealism, but not really, and like people say, oh, okay. So you can use it if you don't want to describe too much about what you do, or you can use the category to just say, well, do you see surrealism? Well, imagine the complete opposite of that. And that's what I'm doing. Or it's inspired by surrealism, but with a modern twist, or something like that. Like it helps people understand what you do, kind of situate it in a broader spectrum, basically. Because by default, like, people are puzzled when they see something new, so they want to know. They need some type of a word to grasp it. But if you also have some sort of a name tag for your art, if you've invented an ism to describe your art, like, say, I don't know, multi-painterly Impressionisticism, and gives people like enough to just connect and relate, basically. No, I don't think. I think it sounds cool. Surrealistic dark art. I think it sounds cool. Well, technically, you know, almost no artist who's been part of any of the movements that we know today, like, technically agreed with the classification that they received, except like those who agreed with the label that they were given mostly were just like, it's pretty rare, or they did this on purpose. But the surrealism was a kind of a movement that was made by Breton and his bodies, basically. But a lot of the surrealistic, like Magritte, didn't really want to belong. Dali was kind of an outsider. And like the main names that you would think are surrealists didn't really accept the word themselves. So in the end, it's like, it's mostly a word for outsiders, like the people that, like the viewers, basically. The viewers, the critics, the art historians, if you want. But as an artist, you shouldn't bother too much with how people classify your art. It's just let people see what they want to see, call it what they want to call it, and keep doing what you want to do. Are you using a Zorn scheme? Not really. Yeah, exactly, Barbara. I don't care for categorizing my own work. I just create it. I'm just a conduit. It's up to others to interpret it. Well said. Galleries and art market push both elitism and categories. I like to be free of that. Well, sure. Definitely. Anyhow, your job is to make the art, so I don't know. I don't want to fight over the categories. And if people say something that I find incorrect, like some people have said my art is kind of surrealist, and I've said no, not at all. Like, it's not the same type of like the same type of process at all, because my focus is much more rational. Like, there's no reference to all the irrational side of surrealism. So you just correct people when they say something that you judge to be incorrect, and usually they understand, and it's always easier to define your art by what it's not, and also what it can relate to. So it's close to this, but it's not this. It's a kind of a good definition. Helps people get involved, I think. Well, yeah, good luck, Black Dahlia. See you next time. All the best to you. Thanks, Shalissa Moon. Hey, Rocker. Hey, I've been painting for 2 hours there. Cut me some slack. I'm slowly getting tired. Had a long day. It's approaching 11 p.m. here. Still cool. We had a debate on perfectionism with some very interesting takes. So is this going to be a 3 times a week? More 2 times a week with occasional 3 times depending. And also I have to schedule my usual tutorials as well, so because the tutorials are not going anywhere, but I'm just going to make them less frequently. And that's all. By the way, what kind of subject would you all want to see for the next tutorial? What kind of topic would you be interested in? More like color? Really a classic tutorial, like just overall painting for beginners, painting for, you know, advanced. What kind of subject would you like? Not promising that I'm going to make it, just checking for ideas and see if things could work for the YouTube. Hello, KB. Welcome to the stream. Loved the last master study. What was it? Oh yeah, but it was a live stream. I'm gonna continue next Friday. So, what, you would like an episode on that? Like sort of a tutorial on how to paint like an old master? I don't think I'm gonna do that for an episode. It's fun to do during a live stream, but I don't. Well, this could qualify for a good tutorial content. I don't know. Doesn't feel too. I don't know. Maybe. Why did you stop the beyond how to paint, you mean? Because it didn't work that much. So I don't know, when I don't feel a response and like people don't seem to really watch that much. Sometimes it's just YouTube messing up with me, but sometimes it also means that there's just less interest in certain topics or certain formulas. It's weird. A video on creating multi-figure composition and painting reference would be great. Okay, kind of did a video about that. The problem is, like, right now with how YouTube works, I can't even put a normal title saying what the video is about, otherwise people don't watch. So the video is called a technique that the only technique that I wouldn't recommend, but I use it all the time. It's about how I use my own references and stuff to create these compositions. But I can elaborate on how to create multi-figures, composition in general, and so yeah, thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, beyond how to paint was serious. Yeah, I was more into philosophy of creating and stuff. Yeah. Si possible, les glacis. Okay. A tutorial on painting hands. Okay. I have one like that, but I can make a new one. That's a possibility. There's no problem at all in repeating, because, you know, like this is what we do. First of all, that's how YouTube kind of works. You repeat the same. If it works, you do it several times, so it doesn't matter. If you've done a video, like I can make a glazing 3 if I want, because I've done 2 videos on glazing. Because you always find new things to explore. So it's not really a problem. And you can always make a part 2. Painting hands, there's a lot to cover, so a tutorial on proportions, multi-figure composition. Okay, multi-figure seems like it's an idea that has some echo. No, Felicia, it's not on Patreon, by the way. It's on the regular YouTube. It's just, I think it's how to paint hands. But indeed, it was requested by a Patreon member, but I decided to put it on YouTube for everyone. But it's not a Patreon exclusive, let's say. So what am I doing right now besides falling asleep? Not much. Slowly working on this. After talking about how much perfectionism makes me super slow, taking even more time to do it during a live stream. And yeah, it's getting sleepy in there. Sorry, Rocker, you got sort of flagged by Nightbot. Why? It's sorry, it's like a mistake. I need to reset the chatbot for some reason. I don't know, Nightbot, like which is a chat bot. Basically, it's here to prevent people from, like, you know, spamming insults or doing random stuff like that, being trolls, you know. And he just, apparently he wasn't happy that you were putting so many dots next to each other. I don't know. Kind of a sensitive bot. Are ears hard? They can be, but they are also the least noticeable area of the face. So basically, you can pretty much do whatever you want, and people, like, it's like right there. I just put a cross right in the middle of the ear. It doesn't feel that disturbing. You can do whatever, just blah 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 blah. Doesn't like ruin the entire painting. So it's tricky, like the shape is tricky to get, but once you get it, it's also irrelevant how well you paint it. It's like, don't spend too much time just worrying about the ears, because people don't notice the ears. So generally just a couple of shapes are enough to just suggest the shape rather than just try to be hyper realistic. ears keep growing as you get older? You mean the hair? What is she thinking? That's the question. It's a question that I often. I don't say I'm thinking about that when I paint, but it goes through my mind. And, I let the question sink in. I try to get to know these characters. Try to understand what they want. What are they hoping for? What do they want to accomplish? Even though I don't have the answer though. And I let these thoughts kind of run through my head in the background as I'm painting them. And it, believe it or not, it helps with the facial expressions. Like if you want them to look happy, you kind of have to have the smile on your face yourself and kind of be in the same type of emotion. You know, when you draw or paint someone with a huge smile, like if you have a camera pointing at you recording what you do, you realize that you're actually smiling as well, like an idiot, like reflecting on your own creation basically. But yeah, it's kind of a normal process. You want the smile to communicate, like it's like you communicate with your subject. It's kind of a normal thing. I'm not saying that you share the emotions with your subjects or anything, but how many muscles are in the face? Well, I don't know. Just Google it. Many. Well, it's a privilege for me, thanks. Do you think we're gonna get to 100 likes today? I don't think we are. It makes me sad. 82 likes so far. It was kind of a quiet stream. Pretty cool, but quiet. Not a lot of people today hanging out. Just the best. Her right eye could have some colors as it is in the light. Sure, it could. We've got 1K views. Yeah. It's like combined views. So that's a good. I'm not watching the views for that. It's just like the milestone of the 100 like is what I usually know is kind of the average. So we're kind of below average. Classic figure painting, please. What do you mean? As a sort of a tutorial? Or during a live stream? Classic figure painting is it's a tricky business on YouTube because it's considered to be nudity. And nudity is bad. And it doesn't matter that you're an artist, that it's a traditional practice and stuff, that it was done by people in the Renaissance and antiquity, but you can't do it in 2023 because they don't know the difference between porn and artistic nudity. So classic figure painting, if you intend classic nude, that would be very tricky on YouTube. It's unfortunate. It's the same thing with Instagram. Like, you have some wonderful artists, they have to cover the nipples of their subjects. It's ridiculous. And I get that with the amount of images and all, they can't just manually review, or they can't trust people to make the difference and be honest with the difference between like actual nudity and pornography. But come on, just yeah, nudes are still found all over the Sistine Chapel, and like in most churches, like not in most churches, not, let's be honest, not in all, but like for a long time it was completely normal. And like the worst thing is that like the algorithm, the Instagram, the algorithm, Facebook and all, they all get tricked by some insane like pseudo erotic, like just barely walking on the line of what's acceptable and all, and some insane stuff is still up there because it's not TOS, because it's just, you know, just playing with the rules. But like a classical painting is not TOS. I've been reminded of that recently because for one of my oldest tutorials, it was the painting of Flora, which is like a classical nude basically that I had on the channel. So it's been age restricted with no consequences on my channel, but just means that, and I've appealed that 3 times already, saying no, it's art, it's not nudity, and they keep reflagging it. I guess it's just an automatic process. Can't ask too much. It's an interesting question why we wear clothes. A tutorial on painting lace. Wow, that's interesting. I like these types of Da Vinci-like things. Like Da Vinci was very interested in laces, not laces, but you know, everything intertwining, intermingling, like how the drapery and laces can sort of play together. You have some very elegant things to do with both drapery and laces. Works really well. That's an interesting topic. Yeah, maybe I'll have a couple of laces to do for those figures, or so. Yeah, it could be a subject. Well, what's funny about Adam and Eve is you have this painting by Masaccio in Florence, I think, where Adam and Eve were originally painted naked, as they should be. Like Adam and Eve, like the story was that they were pushed, like they were expelled from heaven, and they were supposed to be naked and guilty, and they covered it up, like they repainted it with a very ugly leaf, and so they had to restore it back to the original. So even the church was not really sure that they would allow it. Like at first they allowed it, and like a couple of years later, a couple of decades or 100 years, I don't know, they decided to cover it back up. Same thing for a lot of the Michelangelo pieces. Michelangelo by default make them all most of his figures, at least, were naked. And some of them were kind of very, very badly covered up later. Always feels very goofy. Not heaven, Eden, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Maxwell. Yeah, I won't be up too late either. I think I'm gonna finish this and then it will be good night for me and good day to you. With oils, does the color change as it dries? Not too much, but it can, what we call, it sinks in, so basically it becomes matte, but the color is pretty much the same and can be brought back with just a little bit of oil, so it's called oiling out. Maybe you've heard of it, but the colors don't change technically. What you have on your palette is what you have on your painting. That's one of the key in oil. Okay, so too light. Okay, I hope you're still here. Apparently I got disconnected, but it reconnected me successfully, so I don't know what happened, but A lot of the techniques carry over though, yeah, but acrylics does have some like most water-based painting techniques have colors that can slightly change, you know, they sort of have a different aspect. Acrylic doesn't have the same, like it's the best in terms of keeping its body and keeping its color the right way, but for example gouache, like layering colors in gouache, it's kind of tricky because you have discolorations due to the water evaporating. So it can be tricky. I have to reset Nightbot because he's giving warnings left and right for no reason. Sorry, Nora. I have to reconfigure Nightbot. How about turning it off? Yeah, I can, but it's good to have the timers and all. It does a lot of things because I don't have many mods at the moment, and it's kind of unreliable to count on human mods, so it acts like a mod when nobody's there. So I'm gonna reconfigure it though, so it's less aggressive. But you know, basically it's a troll protection. Protects you from trolls. But right there, it's protecting me from good people trying to say normal things, so. Similar to the figure in the ocean you did. This one? Not much, because it's this one has a very strong red glow. Like you see it already, but it's going to be even like more intense when I have, like there's going to be elements near, like in the foreground, that's going to make this reddish glow pop even more. But I want to first get everything right here, and then when I'm done with all the surrounding, I'm going to come back with glazes, and it's going to give a very strong reddish glow, a very strong effect, which in my mind, in my head, as I see it, is going to be pretty cool, but I don't know. Like you can never know before you try it. Like all things. Comment est Paris en ce moment? Paris is alright, I guess. Paris is Paris, so is the same crazy. It's a big city, you know. I don't hang out there much. I don't live there. Is it hot? Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of 33, 35 degrees Celsius. So yeah, pretty hot for September. Do you recommend us painting with pure black like eyebrows? No, I always recommend to avoid pure black as much as possible. Try to either mix it, but always try to get this, like right here I have some almost pure black, but I'm always mixing it with a bit of a color. So always give it some type of character, some type of, you know, some type of flavor basically, and try to resort to black only in the end when it's the last color that you know you are going to need. But try every version of brown or very dark gray before you try black, and only then use your black if needed. Don't start with, no. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be the end for me. So thank you for sticking around. I'm gonna wrap up here. So, oh, okay. All right, so thank you for being here all this time. 2 hours and 38 minutes, gosh. And yeah, good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'll see you for the next one. And thanks again for the support, for the likes. And yeah, take care. Love you guys. Bye.